A very good evening to everyone. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to this session on ESG compliance lead. And today, before we begin, I would also like to take a moment and wish everyone a very happy Republic Day. It Today is a reminder for us that we share a collective responsibility as a nation to prosper together and have sustainability for ourselves and for our future generations always on our mind, and to ensure that the same is implemented. And this can be done through the principles of ESG, the components of ESG: environment, social, and governance. So we definitely understand the relevance of value of ESG, not for ourselves, but also collectively for our nation and for our future generations. So once again, wishing everyone a very happy Republic Day. And thank you so much for being a part of our session today. And we hope that this is an insightful session for everyone. And we are motivated to do better as the citizens of this nation. So we understand that ESG is no longer just a framework or something that only is limited to the organization. It is organizations. It is also a pathway to ensure a better future, to ensure better actions from our end as individuals in our day to day lives. So, when we talk about these practices and policies, it strengthens not just on an organizational level, but also on an individual level. And when we talk about the course specifically, the ESG compliance course, this course is a unique course in itself. It's not just a theoretical course, it brings along real world practical examples for everyone to understand and have a better grasp over their workings on how it includes ESG on a daily basis. So that is what the course brings. Not just that, it brings a synergy of EHS Guru Sustainable Solutions with Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, an A++ NAC accredited institution, which has its excellence in higher education. So this collaboration creates a platform for all the individuals to grow, learn, and transform themselves. And with a delight, I would like to now welcome the speaker for today's session. We have Ms. Sushri Sunanda Sahu. She is an advocate and an expert in ESG and law. She is a consultant, and with an experience of over 3 years, she has been instrumental in guiding individuals, businesses, and organizations towards achieving environment and legal compliance, resolving disputes, and safeguarding the rights of organizations and individuals altogether. She has been dedicated to academia as well as her professional growth, both together. And throughout this session, I encourage everyone to actively engage, ask as many questions as you can, and we'll be there to moderate through the session. And Sushri will take you to a better experience of what the course brings us towards. And thank you so much for joining in. And let us now have an impactful experience. And over to you, Sushri.
Right. Thank you so much, Nimisha, for the wonderful introduction about the course, about the organization, and obviously wishing everybody a very happy Republic Day. So, I believe everybody can unmute themselves. So, before we begin, can we actually have a minute to actually talk about the relevance of the Republic Day and why do we celebrate it? Anybody? Anybody from within the organization or outside also works, but I want somebody to speak something and share what do they understand about the concept of Republic Day and the celebration that goes around it. I believe my
Kirti,
screen is visible.
yes, it is visible. Kirti, can you confirm whether all can unmute themselves or it is controlled one?
All participants can unmute themselves and they can speak. Yeah,
Okay,
only
okay,
camera
yes.
is disabled for them.
Right. Thank you
Right.
so much. So anybody who's interested can share their thing about Republic Day. Yes. in a minute? No one?
Anything which you feel, so anybody can talk about any aspect of Republic Day, why it is important, why we celebrate it, anything on that.
And this includes people from within the organization also.
Yeah, hi Srishti.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, hi Manish sir, hi Kirti, hi T. And thank you
Hello.
everybody.
Hi,
Happy
sir.
Republic Day to everyone. Those
Thank you,
who are
sir.
from the company or outside the organization. See, why we celebrate Republic Day? As per my best knowledge, what I know is in the year 1950, our Indian Constitution has been made. See, Sushi, please correct me if I'm going wrong. So, Dr. Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar has made this constitution, and there are some certain it is made for citizens only. और उसके अलावा जो हम कह सकते हैं कि हम इसलिए मनाते भी हैं क्योंकि हमारे देश का कैसे चलना है, किसको क्या करना है, किसकी क्या लिमिटेशंस है, किसको किस चीज की आजादी है, हमारी आजादी किन किन चीजों के लिए है, हमारा जो एक कहते हैं ना कि काम करने का तरीका कैसा होना चाहिए, लाइक इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द गवर्नेंस आल्सो, so this is why we celebrate Republic Day. So please correct me if I'm going wrong. So thank you so much. This is all about I know about the Republic Day.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. Anybody else would like to contribute, or else we can move forward?
Hello,
Okay,
Sushi.
Hi. Yes, please.
I would just like to share my insight that we celebrate January 26, which marks the day of when Constitution of India came into effect in 1950.
Correct.
Before that we had Government of India Act 1935. It was a replacement that came into effect in 1950. It signifies India's transition into a sovereign democratic republic, and this day is commemorated with a grand parade which includes India's national cultural diversity, military strength, and its advancement, and is a reminder of sacrifices made for the Indian independence and rules behavior so that we can live and thrive.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Munish, sir, I believe you wanted to contribute something as well, and then we move forward.
Yes, yes. So I wanted to relate this Republic Day. So similar to Constitution being the foundation of India as a Republic, India. If I relate this constitution with the similar concept at ESG compliance, so ESG compliance becomes the foundation of for any business to become more regulated, controlled, and by following various legislations and some of the international best practices. So it also regulates the sustainable and growth for any business. So both things are related to each other. So if we have set rules, regulations in place, and if we start following all of those things, then it leads to a sustainable growth for the country as well as for the business. So that's a relatable input from my side.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. So we do understand the concept of Republic Day, and as we move forward, we might have an opportunity to talk more about it. But thank you, everybody, for your insights. So now, as we move forward, I'd like to introduce the organization in brief quickly. So the full name of the organization is EHS Guru Sustainable Solutions Private Limited, which was established 7 years ago, and it's a consulting firm which specializes in the following areas: primarily EHS, which is Environment, Health and Safety and Industrial Safety. Second is ESG, which is Environment, Social and Governance and Sustainability. Third is Fire and Electrical Safety. Fourth is Ergonomics. And finally, we have Regulatory Compliance Services. And like we all understand that this whole session is going to be dedicated around the course that we have curated around ESG compliance aspects. So this squarely falls into the second and the final domains of the areas of work that the organization does. Insofar as the background to the course is concerned, so we all understand that ESG is more of an investor driven framework with various frameworks coming in internationally, be it the ESRS or the CSRD, now Canada, China, Australia have come up with their own reporting frameworks, etc. It was initially an investor requirement that, okay, you have to do these many things to ensure environmental protection, to ensure that your projects are having a positive social impact, that the governance setup of your organization is correct, it's fair, transparent, accountable, etc. But as we move forward, as more and more nations began the process of industrialization, businesses thrived, etc. With that happening, we do realize that it's not only an investor requirement, rather, nations came up with their own national legislations, rules, regulations, etc to regulate to regulate aspects like environment protection, having positive social impacts, ensuring good governance within organizations, etc. Right? So at the base of ESG stands regulatory compliance. When we do look at any kind of framework, be it GRI, which is the Global Reporting Initiative, or the IFC Performance Standards, which is followed globally. So we do understand when we read any of these particular frameworks, we do understand that they all state that you have to follow the national requirements for the least, and on top of that, you build these many things. So at the base of it, the base of any kind of ESG reporting basically requires compliance with national rules and regulations or national laws, and hence the area of focus of this course is to ensure that you have the bare minimum first, like your foundation should be strong, and only on top of that do you build upon bigger aspects that the reporting frameworks require you to do. So India is a nation which is progressing pretty well in terms of economically, in terms of growth, and sustainable growth should be something that should be the area of focus. Now with COP happening, the kind of nationally determined contributions that we have promised globally, how do we achieve all of them if our businesses are not aligned with basic aspects of environment, social, and governance and the compliance requirements? And this is exactly the gap area that we identified, which was the background to this course. So the gap area happens to be like there is a framework and there are the compliance requirements, and there's an essential disconnect between them. But once you connect them, then you create a good foundation for yourself, for the organization, and then you build upon it and further thrive. Insofar as the attributes of the course goes, this course has been curated to ensure that it is well planned for both freshers and working professionals. It is not a very extensive course which is rigorous and all of that. Rather, it's very friendly to the candidate who takes it. So it's something which is based around assignment-based evaluations. It is a 14-week course which is web-based so that you can learn from the comfort of your homes or wherever that you're living. And the classes are scheduled for weekends. So it's good for everybody who has a hectic, busy schedule. Apart from that, you're going to learn so much from the industry experts. We are going to talk about the experts in detail towards the end of the PPT. So the industry experts are from diverse fields. They are lawyers, academicians, consultants. They have worked in sustainable finance and human rights, like aspects like climate change as well. So they're all diverse and experts in their own fields, and they bring in plethora of experience, which are all real time. Then we have something called as the ESG reporting workshop, wherein we are going to focus on international reporting frameworks and national reporting frameworks. The national one being BRSR and BRSR core, and the international ones would be GRI, TCFD, etc. Right? Then there would be a provision of reading material for ease of access and learning to everybody. And finally, the biggest takeaway of this particular course is that it's going to be certified by Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, which is a state university which has NAC A++ accreditation, and it's based out of New Delhi. So considering all of these attributes, we have tried to ensure that it's friendly for everybody who takes it and beneficial. It's highly skill-based and professionally sound and going to help you climb your career ladder. The key takeaways of this course are the first one being understanding of ESG frameworks. And like I was mentioning, there would be a workshop around BRSR, then we are also going to cover GRI, TCFD, and a few other frameworks. And we Apart from that, we are also going to focus on the Indian regulatory aspects pertaining to ESG. So, firstly, we'll build the foundations for the candidates. And on top of that, we are going to talk about reporting, because when we talk about ESG, it's generally believed to be having a relationship with reporting. On top of that, we are going to build up with aspects like human rights, sustainable finance, climate change, supply chain management, etc., all of which together strengthen the ESG journey of any particular organization. Apart from that, we are going to understand issues of corporate governance and ethical business practices, because a general saying goes that you cannot be ethical and run a business simultaneously, because that's how, the capitalist mindset has been like. But that's not essentially true. You can run a ethical, accountable business by ensuring that you are in adherence to corporate governance practices. So this is where the whole regime of Companies Act, competition law, IPR, and SEBI regulations would come in. Then we'd also develop an understanding of ESG reporting frameworks which are internationally acceptable, which starts with the IFC performance standards, moves on to GRI, TCFD, TNFD, and so forth. We can also talk about the ESRS, which are emerging, the CSRD, emerging frameworks also. And finally, the ESG disclosure requirements in India. So here we are going to bifurcate. Like in India, we do not essentially have a blanket ESG disclosure apart from DRSR, but then there are so many disclosures which you need to undertake as part of environmental disclosures. Like you have EPR obligations, you have EPR returns, which need to be filed on a quarterly and annual basis, etc. For social, you have the POSH returns to be filed. For governance, you have to file your annual accounts, you have to declare your annual accounts and pay your taxes well, etc. Right? So these are few examples of the many areas that we're going to cover through the course. The course modules are divided into 9, the first one being an overview of ESG. So when we talk about an overview of ESG, we should look at how the framework evolved from the erstwhile EHS regime into the current ESG regime and how it is still evolving. We are going to trace down the background, the history, which led to the evolution of ESG globally, and also how the same percolated down into the international system, right? Secondly, we'll look into the constitutional framework around EHS and ESG. So this is one thing that I am particularly interested, because considering today is Republic Day, so this is exactly what was the reason, the motivation which made me question as to the importance of Republic Day. So there is so much that the Constitution of India says, but we as citizens are not aware about how the Constitution is related to environmental protection, health and safety, social aspects, and governance. But when we do look at the Constitution, it does have provisions for so many aspects, right? So, in this particular module, we are going to focus on the constitutional framework, and we are going to deliberate upon the provisions which pertain to health and safety, environmental protection, social and governance aspects. For module 3, we have policy frameworks around EHS and ESG in India. Again, we are going to talk about the water policy, the forest policy, the EHS policy, etc. For the fourth module, we have legal and policy framework around environment protection in India. We are going to talk about all the laws and policies that pertain to environment protection in India. So an example, somebody please admit there's a new person waiting in the lobby. Yeah, thank you so much. So there are plethora of laws in India which pertain to environment protection. The first one being the Environment Protection Act, then the Environment Protection Rules. We have the Air Act, Water Act, all of which are going to be deliberated upon. And there would be experts who would be deliberating upon these topics who actually speak from experience, who have been instrumental in actual policy making, in actual implementation of law, and so forth. So this is going to be pretty insightful. Similarly, we have legal and policy frameworks around health and safety aspects, social and governance aspects. And we are going to talk about the different laws which deal with all of these things, right? All of these areas. Then for module 8, we have something called supply chain management and climate risk management. So how many of you all have been aware about what is happening in Los Angeles? I want people to respond. So what has been happening in Los Angeles for the past few days or weeks now?
A major forest fire in the whole area.
Yes, correct. And what do you think was one of the many causative factors behind that?
It's maybe global warming.
Absolutely. So, when we do not manage our climate risks well, we are all at the receiving end of the negative impacts of climate change, and which is precisely why businesses have to ensure that their systems are integrating climate risk as a factor and also ensuring that they are climate proof. So, climate insurance is coming up as a new concept right now. The whole of COP discussions is around reducing climate risk throughout the supply chain for organizations to infrastructure to food systems, etc. So we are going to have a more business oriented, business focused area over here. And we are going to see how best climate change, the negative impacts of climate change could be ameliorated with the integration of ESG. And finally, in module 9, we have ESG investing and finance. So we do talk about sustainable finance, we do talk about green bonds and so many other things. Then how exactly do we go about it? So that is where our experts would come in and deliberate as to how do they ensure that, okay, ESG investing, ESG finance is actually happening, that they're actually investing in greener, climate proof, ESG resilient kind of assets. And that's pretty much going to be the coverage of the course, which I believe is extremely extensive as well. And it's pretty diverse. It does not limit oneself to regulatory compliance, but goes over and beyond. Yes, Monish, sir, please.
Okay, so this Los Angeles fire is very interesting example. So I wish that we should talk more, at least 2 minutes more on this, because this fire is a very good reminder about how climate change impact us at a longer term. So this is an example of very interesting aspect that nowadays, if any of the new development is considering climate risk, such risk will be covered by that risk assessment. But if we are not covering the climate risk, then it can be a disastrous situation like Los Angeles has felt very recently. So it's a good example of poor urban planning, not considering how climate change can impact or exaggerate the forest fires, which has recently led to evacuation of more than 4 lakh people from that surrounding of the particular affected area. So all these examples are very relevant, that how ESG professionals also have the responsibility on themselves, that you should not only understand about how reporting to be done, but how this concept of climate change works in avoiding such situation. So these are some practical aspects which we are going to learn during this 3.5 month duration course. Lot of interesting discussions we are expecting with different experts which we have onboarded in this particular course, because our focus is to make this entire course more practically oriented, not just understanding about the theoretical or the compliance aspects of it, but also how these concepts affect us. Our development planning will also get changed, modified with all of these things. Even the operational aspects of any industrial facility will be changed by integrating environment, social, and governance elements. So, how we need to utilize our knowledge in practical implementation of it that is going to be the most interesting part of this course. So, Sushi, want to add anything to this Los Angeles example further? You can add.
I believe somebody has raised their hand. I think they can
Yes,
add.
yeah, let's listen from them. Yeah.
Yeah, Munish, this is Dr. Sushil Gupta here. I just want to
Please.
know what additional they could have done to like control this forest fire. Suppose we were not knowing this event,
Mhm.
this has not happened yet. So what they could have done
Okay, so I'm talking
as
more
part
about
of,
the prevention
yeah,
part. So I understand
yeah,
that if some development has already happened and they have not
yes,
considered this potential impact that could have come, so it's like once in a 100-year kind of incident, and they could not have identified such risk in the past when this development has happened. But otherwise, the control mechanisms are very limited. So it's like uh, we have to do mitigation measures more rather than putting more efforts in controlling it. So if we put more emphasis on prevention or mitigation efforts, that will be less costly, but controlling such incidents becomes very difficult. And whatever chemical has been used in this fire controls, that is going to have a very detrimental effect on that entire ecosystem. Lot of very toxic chemicals has been used because that was the only alternative at that particular time. But we cannot talk more about how to control it. Rather, we should have some mechanism to have the mitigation on such potential risk in advance while planning any of the development in the in the country. So that is our takeaway from that incident.
Yeah, so
But
what mitigation, what mitigation, according to you, what mitigation
okay, so
measures could have been done?
one line
Because
response
its
will
wind
be
speed was
yes,
about
yes.
110 kmph. If you see the wind speed, it
Mm-hmm.
was 110 kilometer per hour. So what
Mm-hmm.
mitigation do you suggest in such situation?
Okay, so you are more talking about a particular situation that has happened, but we are talking about its larger picture. So, mitigation in terms of any of the new development planning has to be considered by considering the climate risk of that particular area. So, it's not something immediate could have been done, but while having the new development in that particular area, we should know that there could be a possibility of forest fire extending to the urban development which has happened in that area. So that is our takeaway. But yes, immediate consequences or immediate controls or immediate mitigation is not possible if some development has already done, considering avoiding the potential impacts of the climate change, because that climate change is one factor which has exaggerated this entire forest fire in that area. So your point of view is more from the safety point of view, but I am talking more from its advanced planning or urban planning considering the climate risk point of view. So both
Yes,
things are
I'm also asking,
different.
actually, I am also asking about the is advanced planning only. What safety measure,
Okay.
like we know now,
Okay,
what
so
safety
I
measure could be
think
done
I
if
can
we are
answer that.
developing like new development there?
Mm-hmm.
What
Right.
mitigation can do?
Okay, there are so many raised
Okay,
hands.
there are so many raised hands.
Okay,
Yes.
so
So,
Sushilji, I
so
think
Shishri,
I'll
I
answer your
think
question. There's some echo. Can somebody
eco.
mute themselves? Yes, thank you so much. So, like your question goes, so this is exactly what we try to do in an exercise called as ESG due diligence, right? So there are companies who want to invest in other companies who are undertaking infrastructure development. So they hire third parties to get the ESG due diligence process to ensure that their investments are going to be, ESG proof or climate proof for that matter. So this is where we suggest them that, okay, now, considering that these are the kind of risks that you have, you should use a particular building material. Let's say the area is earthquake prone. So you're going to use earthquake resilient material. Like you see, what Japan has been doing for these many years, the same could be integrated in other places as well, right? So you have geographical or geological data available which maps the vulnerability of every place. Correct? So we have to study the baseline geological data that is available, and based on that, identify and suggest what best measures can we actually take in at this point to prevent something which is disastrous, which might fructify somewhere 100 or 200 years down the line, whatever is feasible. Correct? So if that answers your question, Sushilji.
Actually, if you see even in Japan,
Hmm.
Japan is very earthquake prone. We know that.
Correct.
We all know that.
Correct.
Same is situation in California. Is
Absolutely.
if you see 1905 California earthquake, that was a very
Hmm.
disastrous event, and
Correct.
there was a big fire following after the earthquake, which created huge damage in California. So
Hmm.
even if Japan, if you see like earthquake resistant material, best material is wood. So if you
Hmm.
see wood houses, they have already developed wood houses in California because of 1905 earthquake. Similar situation is in Japan, I tell you
But then
honestly.
the problem with wood
Fire
is
there,
that.
there also similar problem is going to happen because wind speed was 110 kilometer per hour, and nobody so far had envisioned that kind of
Mhm.
wind speed. If a fire is there, it's really impossible to handle such kind of situation until unless you do it very in advance. Like because fire, if it doesn't get doused in 3 minutes, it goes exponentially. Severity is very high. So fire is one such hazard which has to be handled
So
at a
whatever
like
provision or steps that need to be undertaken cannot be taken considering only one disaster in that case. Because wood is something which added fuel to the fire and precisely the problem.
yeah.
They tried to solve earthquake and they are having wildfires right now, right?
Yes, so that's what I'm
So
saying. Yeah.
it has to be a consonance. Precisely, when we look at climate, we don't look at anything in isolation. When we look at climate, we have to look at so many factors together. And hence, understanding the geological data of any particular place would probably be helpful, is what I propose. Okay, so
So
we
there are
have
more
more
raised
raised
Yeah.
hand.
hands.
Let's
Yes.
hear their input also on this particular
May I,
subject. Yes.
may I add on this? If you see
Yeah,
LA
please,
people,
please go ahead.
if LA people were knowing about it because they know whole area is earthquake prone, and because of 1905 lessons, they made wooden houses. But again, you can see the same thing. They could not handle it even after doing that much. They were knowing that this area is like fire prone, and fire has happened in 1905. Huge fire has happened, and despite that they continue to make wood material houses because that's the safer for earthquake, and this has happened. So it's
Okay,
not really, yeah,
so I
sometimes, yeah.
encouraged discussion on this particular subject because we wanted to highlight the importance of
Right,
climate
right.
risk assessment, which
Sure.
is going to affect the entire development planning in that area. So
Yes.
if climate risk assessment would have been done in that area, so there would have been the restricted zones. Which has more vulnerability in terms of having effect from the forest fire. So there could have been more early warning system in place if something similar which what has already happened, so there could be more evacuation possibilities in that area. So nowadays developers or various investors who are considering such risk assessments are considering all of these aspects. So that's where these practical aspects of ESG will become more relevant into implementation part. So this is very relatable examples of practical applications of ESG concepts. So let's continue further with the subject or the agenda of the session. Yes, Sushri. So Chinmay, you want to
I
say
believe there's
anything?
one
You
more raised
already
hand.
have
Yes.
raised hand on this.
Yeah, I would like to raise a question about the course module. So is it the right time or should I ask later on?
You can ask. You can ask
Please go
now.
ahead. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So about this, out of 9 modules, I see that about 5 to 6 module about the policy framework and legal compliances. So course is more about the legal compliances point of view of environmental health and safety, or it is towards more about the ESG reporting, how the uh, and GHG emission and other things are there. So can you a little bit more elaborate about the course part?
Right. So, firstly, like I said, the background to this course has been like before we go into ESG reporting, the any reporting framework basically wants us to be compliant with the basic national requirements, right? But more often than not, we realize that organizations do not have their compliance requirements in place. Correct. So the first what can I say? The first base of this course is going to be compliance. And upon that, we are going to build upon more aspects like reporting disclosures, supply chain management, sustainable finance, etc. So we have tried to balance both these things out, but then the initial foundation shall be around regulatory compliance aspects only. Yes.
So it's like combination of both, taking the foundation from the regulatory compliance on environment, social and governance aspects, which also includes the health and safety in the social and lot of governance aspects into it. And once that foundation is complete, so there are concepts related to GHG emission, net zero, and all of the those ESG concepts are also covered with that. So combination of both are very important for us to take it ahead, because sometimes there are challenges with the professionals that they are aware about ESG reporting, but they're not aware about the regulatory compliance part of it. But if we want to run any business in India, foundation will come from the regulatory compliance part of it. So if you cover each and every aspect of the legal compliance, you will be covering more than 50 or 60% part of ESG in a way, because our compliances are very relevant and strong. And with the concepts of compliance, then we have already covered a lot of international best practices and concepts, which includes ESG investing in finance, because that is where the entire ESG has become more relevant for various developing countries, and at the time of any of the new development, so this ESG investing in finance becomes relevant. So supply chain is also getting impacted because of ESG. If you see, lot of bigger companies are asking their supply chain companies or service providers or various vendor companies, they ask a lot of ESG data from those companies, but how to implement those basic framework in the companies where they can start generating various data which ultimately goes to customers. So that is where we are trying to cover the major gap which exists in the market as of now. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so thank you so much. Now we'll move forward. The target group for the course is basically, see, I'll start with the eligibility. So eligibility goes like anybody who's a graduate, has a provisional graduation degree is eligible, and hence the target group is essentially anybody who has interest in ESG, but more specifically, we are focusing on professionals and executives who are trying to upgrade their profiles from, let's say, EHS or fire safety into ESG and sustainability. Then we have finance teams, investor relations teams, because sustainable finance, very important, chief sustainability officers. Then we have compliance professionals. We have NGO representatives who also need to know, because a lot of them work around environment protection, around social aspects as well. Sustainability enthusiasts, again, a very blanket term, environmental advocates or lawyers, consultants, academicians, students, entrepreneurs, and business owners are all, part of our target group and can learn a lot, because firstly, you need to know so much about the national requirements to actually start a business also, be into entrepreneurship. And you could actually be a part of the solution, finding or curating solutions to the many problems that we have. And like Sushil ji was pointing that, Chinmay ji, do you still have a question, or you can lower your hand? Yeah. Like Sushil ji was saying, to tackle one problem, they created, a foundation for some other problem. So you could be a part of the solution by learning from us and learning with us together. Hence, the target group is anybody who's interested in sustainability and ESG. Again, why choose us? Because firstly, we have reasonable course fees when we compare ourselves to similarly placed courses in the market. Secondly, you're going to learn from multiple professionals who have practical experience in various fields. It's almost as if you're going to get 3 years of experience in a matter of 3 months, which is commendable. Then it's a UGC approved course, which is certified by a state university having NAC A++ accreditation, and anybody from around Delhi NCR or otherwise also has definitely heard about Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University. Then it's designed for both working professionals and freshers, both in terms of the module curation and also in terms of how it is placed, like it being a web-based course, having assignment-based evaluations, having weekend classes, etc. Again, it's a mixture of theory and practical lessons, and it's going to build upon your regulatory compliance aspects of ESG. That's going to be the first, like the foundation, and eventually further build upon in terms of ESG disclosures, reporting frameworks, etc. This is a glimpse of our faculties. Mr. Munish Kumar, most of you have seen him. He was speaking about the Los Angeles issue. He's the executive director of the company. Then we have Mr. Ashish Jain, who's founder director IPCA, which is an organization into waste management and more specifically extended producer responsibilities, which is EPR. We have Dr. SD Athri, member technical CAQM. So he comes from an organization which releases all of the GRAP orders, which is, applicable in Delhi NCR for the winter months. So anybody who has seen Delhi fog, it's going to be a nice opportunity to actually interact with Dr. Athri and learn from him. We have Ms. Rasmi Sood, who is Associate Director global ESG team, Concentrix, again comes from a very good corporate background and how actually ESG implementation is happening in her organization, what are the challenges. Very good resource person to learn from. Miss Vinita Sahitya, she's the founder of a law firm called Lex Fulcrum. Essentially, she's into social and governance litigation. She understands how companies functions and what best can companies do in terms of ensuring good social practices and good governance practices. Ms. Hemvati S. Shekhar, she is the founder of an organization which is an NGO called as Enact Earth Foundation, which actively works towards climate change aspects. And she talks about climate mitigation, adaptation. She's an expert in that field. And I believe the Los Angeles issue could be more specifically taken up with her in one of her sessions. Mr. Ajay Tiwari, Assistant Vice President and Group Safety Head. He's from Birla Corporation Limited, a person who has diverse knowledge in environment, health and safety and ESG aspects. So again, very good resource, having good corporate experience in terms of practical implementation of ESG and EHS. Mr. Manoj Kumar, he's a food safety professional, so pretty much into the social and safety aspects, health and safety aspects. Again, holds over 20 years of experience as on date and understands FSSAI laws and regulations pretty much and has them on their fingertips, on his fingertips. Miss Veena Gupta is a legal consultant. It's in like she's an expert POSH trainer also, more into social and governance aspects. We have Dr. Manisha Badoni, environmental lawyer. She holds over 13, 14 years of experience as on date, has been into environmental litigation, and she also works for a law firm and extensively has been contributing towards academia as well. And she specializes more specifically in dispute resolution of environmental disputes. Ms. Swati Goyal, she is an APSCA certified social compliance auditor. She has had extensive experience in social audit and it's a very, vocal proponent of social rights of all of us and more specifically tries to ensure how socially compliant organizations can be built. Then finally, we have Mr. Anshul Agrawal, who is the head of ESG and investments at HCAL, HDFC Capital Advisors Limited. So he is somebody that we'll have for sustainable finance. And he's one person who can actually give you practical examples as to how their investments are ESG proof or aligned with ESG goals and climate goals for that matter. So that is pretty much it about the faculty. Any other questions are welcome. And thank you so much for your time and patience. If you want to contact us, these are the details. And Nimisha would probably be floating the pre-registration form already in the chat. Please take your time to fill in the form and respond to us so that we can get back to you about the course. Further, there's a raised hand, so please go ahead. Yes, sir, there's a raised hand. Vishwash Ji, please go ahead, please.
Yeah, good evening, all. Actually, I want to know about the ESG course detail. So, in that, am I able to learn the zero emission target and EHS audit kind of thing? Like after the completion of the course, can we able to do the ESG audits for any
Absolutely, absolutely.
organization?
Yes, you could do that. Yes.
Okay. Then this in BRSR reporting, you are covering all the things, right? 0 to 100, A to Z, you are covering, right?
Yes, 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 absolutely. We'll start from BRSR, move towards BRSR core, and everything that's pertaining to BRSR we are going to cover. Yes.
Okay,
In fact,
then
related
the
to
last thing
this
is that
so just to add on that BRSR part, so there is a in-person workshop also for various sustainability reporting frameworks. That is also the part of the entire curriculum. Yes, go ahead. I was interrupting.
okay, no problem, sir. Last question was that this course is UGC approved means this all companies will not have the knowledge of what is UGC approved and all, but it will be added advantage for my knowledge and I can face the interview. Am I understanding it right or any wrong way? My understanding is wrong.
Okay, so just to clarify, so this is a certificate course which is approved, and entire affiliation process has been done by Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University. And Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University is a UGC approved university, and also it is a state government university. So complying and doing the affiliation process by the university itself involves a lot of check process. So entire curriculum has been affiliated by the legal, by affiliation branch, by the finance branch. So a lot of due diligence has been done by the university official, and especially there is a department in the University School of Environment Management, that is known as USEM, and also the Center for Sustainability and Climate Change. So there are professors and experts involved from USEM, as well as from this Center for Sustainability and Climate Change, especially Professor Anubha Kaushik, and Dean of USEM, that is Dr. Varun Joshi. So all of those experts has been involved in the entire affiliation and approval process from the university. So you can be rest assured about the certification, and you can also search this ESG compliance lead course on the website of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University. So you will get the details of this course on the university webpage also.
Okay, thank you, sir. Last thing is that if I miss any class, that it will be I can attend through recorded class is available for me.
Okay,
If I
so there
miss
are
any class,
limited exceptions, possibilities are there. So it is not possible that you attend all the recorded session only. But yes, if there are one or two instances, so you can have the recording of those sessions available on the portal.
okay, sir. Thank you.
Hmm.
Hi sir, I just want to know if this course cover the ISO 14064 standards.
Okay, so this question is from Mr. Mahindra.
No, Mr. Vikas.
Okay, hello, Mr. Vikas. Okay, yeah, so if I tell you this course is not covering the entire ISO 14064, but we have covered the basic overview of GHG emissions, scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions, what are its relevance, how it is calculated. So basics of it is covered, because the course cannot have every detail in that sense that it becomes equivalent to ISO 14064, which is itself a separate course. But yes, we have tried to cover the complete overview of this in a limited time period, but it covers. So you will gain the understanding of how GHG calculations are done, what is scope 1 and 2, scope 1, 2, 3, and these emissions, how it is related to various carbon targets. So that all we will be covering in this session.
Okay, right. Another one is the what would be the fee structure for this course? Can we have details on mails, or can you share here?
Yes, so I'll request Nimisha or Upender to share the exact link where the fees details are mentioned. So it's available on our website. But if I tell you the entire fee structure, so this course fees is 31,500 plus 18% GST, which becomes 37,170 rupees, exact amount.
Okay, noted. Thank you, sir.
Hello,
Thank you.
hello.
Yes, yes.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I want to ask one question. Which industry we can target after this completion, of course, because I'm from mall and retail background, and I have ample experience in the same field, where I was handled the admin, maintenance, operations, and FHC, fire and safety, right? So can you
Correct.
guide me further what we can add more?
Okay, so if you're more focused into fire and safety, now, as a matter of fact, you can focus on further aspects like environment, like social, like governance as well. So naturally, there's a lot of opportunities after taking this course that if you want to pivot and restart from wherever that you want to, you can actually join organizations. More specifically, if I were to answer, if it again depends on your interest, you might go into ESG investing and finance, That is one area. Or you could go into more of ESG audits and disclosures kind of an area or a profile, or you could be more interested in undertaking ESG due diligence exercises, like how consulting firms, undertake for other organizations which are trying to make investments into further organizations. So these are a few areas, obviously. And more specifically, if you want to go into, let's say, civil society or undertake some NGO kind of a work, you are more than welcome to join them as well. Yes, there are a lot of raised hands now. Sorry, who was
Okay,
speaking? Could you
thank you.
please?
Thank you so much.
Right, thank you.
Hi, Susri.
Next.
Good evening.
Yes, please give me your name as well.
So
Yeah,
Kirti, can you
Mahendra.
enable the camera for the participant so that they can keep the camera on
Yeah,
also
this
while
is Mahendra.
they're talking?
Sure,
Hello.
sir.
Right, I think Mr. Vikas was speaking, if I'm not mistaken, or who was speaking?
Mahendra is speaking.
Okay, Mr. Mahendra, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, nowadays there are many, consultants are asking for the ESG courses. I think IIT is also one of them. They are asking for the ESG courses. But now, how we can assure that course certificate will be issued from like EHS Guru or by university only?
It's going to be issued from the university itself. It's certified by the university.
Okay, because there are many, consultants, but they are connecting with university, but they are issuing the certificate. That's why I raised the questions.
No. It's going to be issued by the university only. We are more of an execution limb. And obviously, it's going to be a joint project, but it's going to be certified by the university. Yes.
Okay, so just to add on, let me share my screen. So if you Google ESG compliance lead IPU University, so you will get the university website where this notice has already come up and you can verify it directly from the university also. So let me show you how it will come at the
Yeah, please.
university page. Yes. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, visual.
Okay. So if you see, this is Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University website, and you are able to see this entire notice on the university page.
Yes.
Okay. So this entire course information, starting from the admission process, highlights, eligibility, fees, everything is there on that university page. I'll share this link. Sometimes this link doesn't work directly, but if you Google it on your page, and you will be able to see it directly on your page also. I'm
Yeah,
putting
just one
this in the
question.
chat
This is
box.
first batch you are starting or not?
Yes, it is first batch.
Okay. Thanks.
Hello, Sushri.
Sir,
Hi. Please give me
Hi,
your name also.
this is Arslan.
Yes. Hi, Arslan. Please tell me.
I just wanted to ask that right now we had a buyer from Neste. This company is based in Finland. So they had a social audit in which they were asking many documents. It was conducted by an external third party, which was SGS, as you may know. So they asked for some documents. So I just wanted to know that if I am doing this course, how many and what types of audits will I able to assess or pass, that these are the documents required for the audit conducted by the buyer. So can you please tell me the name of the audits that I can assess for documents after this course?
Okay, right. So the first thing would be an environment audit. Second would be a social audit. Third would be a governance audit independently. Then you can also undertake a health and safety audit or a safety audit independently. We have a session dedicated to fire. So if something in the line of a fire audit comes up, so you can undertake that also. Then we do have food safety. So a food safety audit also. EHS audit conjointly or ESG audit conjointly as well. Or you can limit yourself to E and S audit, environment and social audit. Or, I mean, these are the audits that I can think of that lines up to what, 5, 6 audits, 5, 6 types of
So
audits. Yeah.
basically, I just wanted to ask that will I be able to know what documents will be required for that audit, or will you tell for each and every specific audit that these are the documents that your company will
See,
be, because we are
that's not how any audit functions. But you would most certainly know that these are the areas you have to go back and refer back to. You would know that, okay, if you're undertaking environment audit, these are the documents that you have to read and hence ask. Correct? So that's exactly how an audit functions. So we are going to
like
do the groundwork for you. The building upon it, to tailor it to a particular audit, that's going to be more case to be like that's going to be very case specific, right? So it's not as if we
like
are going
in
to issue a
major audits,
checklist.
like in major orders, the documents, some of the documents are same for each and every audit.
Correct,
But
correct. So you would know all of that. You would know
for
all of that,
environmental
certainly.
audit and social audit, like we require Form 4, Form 5 environmental statement, Form 4 annual filing returns of hazardous waste.
Absolutely.
And so I just wanted to know that whether I
Yeah,
will be
you
given
would know. You
a
would know
list.
all of that.
That
Uh-huh.
only I just wanted to ask that whether I would be given a checklist to tick off all the documents that I'll be required during specific audits.
So as and when we learn, so we are also going to learn about Form 5, Form 4, Form 10, like you mentioned, annual returns, etc. So all of that is going to be squarely covered. So rest assured on that. I think Monish sir has something to add. So sir, please.
Okay, I'll tell you this course is not going to be a spoon feeding for you because our objective is to make you independent, to make you understand about the basic of everything. There can be more than 50 types of audits which are related to environment, social, and governance. And if I'm telling social, there are again more than 20 different types of audits and assessment which any company face. So I'll name a few, like SMETA is one example. SMETA is more focused towards the social compliance, and whenever exports and imports are involved, so this companies or FMCG company, textile companies face these specialized social audits. So this course is not to make you dependent on us by providing some checklist or something similar to that, but also to clear all the fundamentals or foundation aspect of it. So with this, you will become independent in identifying the type of expectation which any particular audit has, whether it is related to XYZ, any name. But if you know the fundamentals, you will be able to respond to those responses which are required
Manish ji,
by any of the expectations. Yes.
Manish ji, I would like to tell that I'm working in an FMCG factory right now. It is a
Okay.
Lana Group. It is one of the
Mm-hmm.
largest beef producing facilities. So before coming to this facilities, I was not aware of SMETA 4 pillar, 2 pillar, and the
Okay.
documents required for these audits. That like form I
Mm-hmm.
told you Form 4, Form 5. The industry is very restrained. I know because I have worked
Right. Right.
with Shwani Kumar Jha. He's one of your associate. I think he's an ex-employee now. So he has guided me that Aslan, these are the things that an auditor has required, or these are the things that you need to do for these things.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that this industry that we are working in, the health and safety industry, it is very constrained. No one tells you that these are the documents required. These are the things that you have to do. So I just wanted to know that whether I will be able to learn from your side, because right now with the flow I have learned many things, but I
Mm-hmm.
also learn more from you. So I just wanted to ask that I know this is not a spoon feeding session, but I also want that if you are reputed facility, like I have heard ESG, like you have worked with entity also. So
Yes. Yes.
I was working there in Mape only.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Ashwini was
Okay.
visiting from West Branch.
Right. Right.
He guided me. He guided me very thoroughly all through
Mm-hmm.
these steps. So I just wanted from you also that you can also guide me so that I can be more independent, because many of us are in this industry that don't know that what is Form 4, what is Form 5, what is NOC for pest control, what is falana, and many more things are required for this industry. So no one knows.
So
So
Aslamji, you picked up very interesting part of it, and that's where while we were doing research about the curriculum of the session, we found such gaps exist all across the industries. And we can assure you that, as I mentioned, so spoon feeding, my spoon feeding term means that you may not have everything in place, but yes, our objective is to make you connected with the like-minded people, also to give you exposure to every aspect of environment, social and governance, which is very vast subject. And if you go into details of environment, you will find a lot of such documentation expectations as part of various assessments, or as part of supply chain verification part. So if you go into the social part, there are more than 20, 30 types of audits. And even we also come across very new things. But you can take our assurance that yes, since this course is not going to end in just 3.5 months. After the course completion also, you will remain connected with the community. And to build a larger community, we are also in a process of making Council of EHS and ESG Excellence. So that is yet to formalize. But yes, this charter is already prepared, and we are also connected with some of the international experts related to environment, health, safety, and environment, social governance. So this is just very small starting, but the continuation will be more in the form of Council of EHS and ESG Excellence. So all the passed out participants will also become part of that council, which we are already in process of making with some of the national as well as international experts. So this is just a starting point. And after the course completion also, you will get that guidance, interactions, and some of the complimentary sessions exclusively available for those council members. So this is going to be a larger community where our objective is to enable the professionals as well as the freshers who are new to this subject, to make them independent in all of these expectations which market has. And ESG market is booming market. Every day there are new concepts coming in, and we will keep on developing and evolving our course curriculum also with the approvals from the university, obviously. So that is our agenda. I hope that answers your question. So our objective is to fulfill all of your doubts about different aspects of ENS and G.
Thank you, Manish. I got your point.
Yeah.
The council that you are making is more would be more beneficial.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Yeah, I'm Chinmay. May I ask a question?
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
You have mentioned about in-person workshop. So when it will be done, and for how many days are there, and it will be in university also only, that in-person workshop?
Okay, so yes, this will be in the middle of the course after around somewhere in the month of April. And exact date we will announce once the course will start from 15th of February. And this is going to be 1 day workshop, and it will be inside the university campus only in Delhi.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Hello.
Sir,
Yes, yes, please. Who is
please
speaking?
answer my questions also.
Okay. Have you sent any questions in
Have
the
you
group?
put your questions on the
Yes,
chat or
yes.
something?
Yes, there's
Nimisha,
a
could you please
question.
read it out?
Yes, yes,
So
the
my
question
my
is
first question is, because this entire program and the understanding, I kept listening from few people. So
Mm-hmm.
now the question is, uh, the same thing which people are currently doing, the reporting of BRSR and following the compliances requirement of this third party assurance audit. So how it will enable in our portfolio? Because some people are already into this from last 3 to 4 years, right? So they have a exposure, right? So when it comes to reporting of this BRSR, so again, there is a requirement of a third party, uh, so who have certain requirements like ASY 1530 certification. So they are only authorized to report to the SEBI for the particular company, right? So when we talk about your course, ESG compliance lead, so is it similar to ISO lead auditor courses, or it is? So that's a confusion in my mind as per last 1 hour discussion.
Okay, so this course is not similar to ISO lead auditor course, which is a short-term 5 days course. And the objective of lead auditor is to make the participant understand the management system aspects of any of the particular subject, whether it is environmental management system or occupational health and safety or the quality, whatever is the focus area of ISO lead auditor course. So it's not specifically focused only for the auditing of ESG part, but also our focus is more into enable the participant in the implementation of various ES and G aspects of the course. So the answer, one line answer is that it is not similar to ISO lead auditor course. The
Okay.
more it is more detailed one and focuses more on the implementation support. The
Okay.
person
But
should be, yeah.
yes, I got your answer. So
Mhm.
one more addition into that. So let's say if I my organization where I am currently working.
Mhm.
So we are reporting our ESG through BRSR framework, right?
Right, right.
Right. So after this particular certification, so let's say myself having this certificate or
Mhm.
few more members are having this certificate. तो
Mhm.
सिंपल क्लियरली सो मुझे क्या
Mhm.
थर्ड पार्टी की रिक्वायरमेंट है उस ईएसजी रिपोर्टिंग को आगे गवर्नमेंट में रिपोर्ट करने के लिए और थ्रू दिस सर्टिफिकेट वी डोंट रिक्वायर थर्ड पार्टी सो दिस गैप इन माय थॉट प्रोसेस कि
Okay.
आपका कोर्स करने के बाद हमें थर्ड पार्टी चाहिए जिसके पास वो एएस वाला
Yes.
सर्टिफिकेशन होता है या
Okay.
इससे इनफ है
Okay, so since you are connected to the organization and the concept of third party is that it should be an independent to the organization. So by having this course, it will not exempt you to have the third party verification mandate if that applies to your case. Because the third party means the person is independent and it is not connected with your organization directly or indirectly. So it will not, this course will not exempt you to have uh, exemption from the third party
ओके
verification.
नाउ अगेन
Hmm.
कमिंग वाइस वर्सा
Mm-hmm.
ठीक है now I'm not part of organization. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say I want to do the third party assurance for the ESG reporting, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for requirement of that particular certification for the third party, I am not currently recollecting that particular name. So
Mm-hmm.
can we do the third party through this certification for
Okay,
any
so
organization?
yeah, so I'll answer this question. So with this certification, you will gain the competency of understanding each and every ESG concepts. But as of now, the SEBI has not mandated any particular qualification to do the third party verification. So as of now, you can do third party verification by having this course. But if SEBI mandates certain qualification or additional steps, then you will need to qualify those steps in addition to this course or any other course related to ESG.
Yes, so
But
this is
currently,
yeah, this
hmm,
is again a gap which I found in your this presentation. Maybe you
hmm,
can take on the addition part. So
okay.
SEBI has mandated this, and when we had asked for the third party, and
Hmm,
they asked many party like GT or some parties are there, and they have particular that certification, and after that they can only because this was mandated last year only, last 1 year back and they can only do the third party assessment of the data they are reporting to the SEBI. So this is the one thing. So as per this course, so we can be a part of that organization who has the certification of this ESG assurance audit.
Okay, so there are two concepts. One concept is about ESG analysis or ESG scoring. So to
Okay.
do or to have the ESG scoring, there are qualifications defined by SEBI. But to publish BRSR report, I am still not sure. So, Sushri, if you can confirm, because as of now, in our last interaction, so BRSR related reporting don't require any of the qualification for third party verification. So this is my latest update. But Vikas, if you want to add specifically for BRSR reporting, you're talking about BRSR reporting third party verification or ESG analysis third party verification. Those two are different concepts.
So yeah, so the confusion was there in between these only. So after doing this, can we be a part of that organization? Because let's say one person already asked, can you assist in the this recruitment part? I think the question was there. So after having this particular certification, so can these people be part of those organization where they can do the third party assurance? So can it be helpful to that
Yes,
sector also?
definitely. See, currently, even SEBI has not defined the qualification for doing third-party verification for any of the BRSR report. So they simply mention that competent person can do third-party verification, and by this course, you will gain the competency, and you can do third-party verification of any of the BRSR report. But yes, if you want to be part of the third-party verification for ESG analysis or ESG scoring, then there are some qualifications defined, which is the latest update. Those two are different concepts from each other. So this course is not just to gain those qualification of third party verification. There may be some additional steps involved after gaining this competency.
क्योंकि सर मेरा सिंपल क्वेश्चन सिर्फ यही था कि जैसे
Mm-hmm.
एक सेगमेंट तो फ्रेशर्स के लिए है, ठीक है, एक
Mm-hmm.
सेगमेंट आईआर डिपार्टमेंट के लिए, इन्वेस्टर रिलेशंस. Mostly the
Mm-hmm.
confusion in the current sector which I have gained experience, that E for EHS and E for ESG. So let's connect this to the EHS people. But in the EHS people are only can talk about the environment, that
Mm-hmm.
vertical. But SG is more related to this compliance and the CSR activities, right? So when it comes to reporting, so there are many frameworks. So BRSR is the latest one, and which is the integrated, and there are some things which you are already covering
Yeah,
in
that
your
is
course
statutory in
outline.
India. Yes,
Yes,
but there
yes,
are
yes.
some
So
international
हाँ,
frameworks
तो मेरा
also.
सिर्फ
Yeah.
क्वेश्चन ये था कि जो लोग कर रहे हैं ऑलरेडी 3-4 साल से, so
Mm-hmm.
how this will assist to those people. So particularly I am talking about myself कि मैं 3-4
Okay,
साल
so
से
see,
प्रैक्टिकल.
this is a kind of authentication and additional qualification by a university approved certificate program. So this will give the authentication of their experience, which they might have gained in 3-4 years, and with this qualification, they can prove their competency in a subject. So it's like once you have the experience, you can tell that yes, I have a experience of ESG from past 5-6 years. But once you gain this competency, which is a university provided certificate course, so that will provide authenticity of your claim. So this is similar to that. So already experienced professionals have already registered. So we have got many registration who have experience in ESG, and they are getting this done just to gain the authentication of their experience. But yes, there will be additional steps involved if you want to register yourself as a third party verifier. So there will be some additional steps required after gaining these competencies.
Okay, okay. Sir, can we have a
Hmm.
sample certificate so we can have a more clarification, because people were
Okay.
asking हाँ
Right.
कि ये
So,
आप लोग दे रहे हैं
answer
या
to your
गुरु गोविंद.
question about the sample certificate, since this is a government university approved certification, you cannot ask directly from the
Okay.
university that provide us the sample certificate. After the first batch, we can tell them, yes, this is our sample certificate. But yes, you can be rest assured that certificate is since provided by that university process, and since it is a first batch, so there is no sample created as of now. The certificate will clearly mention the ESG compliance lead qualification of this entire curriculum, and which is affiliated by the detailed process. So we have gone through more than 1 year process of affiliation to gain this affiliation from the university. So, but after first batch, we can answer your question that yes, this is the sample certificate.
So validation of this certificate will be lifetime, right?
Yes, yes, yeah, it will be
And
the
and
lifetime.
it will have the logo of your organization and Guru Gobind Singh in the
Yes,
certificate. Might
primarily
be.
Guru Gobind Singh, but we will, since we are the execution partner of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, so it will mention our name also.
Okay, sir.
Hello,
Thanks.
Hmm.
hello, hello,
Yes,
Munish sir.
yes, Manoj,
Sir,
you
as you
can.
said, the duration of this certification course is 5 days. Will it cover all the things in 5 days? 5 days will be enough?
No, no, I think you took you understand wrongly. So it is not 5 days, it is 3.5 months duration course.
Okay, sorry, sorry.
There will be weekly sessions. So all the sessions will be on Saturday. most probably in the evening time, and that's how this course will proceed. So it's 3.5 month
I
duration,
think
not the
miscommunication. You were
5 days.
telling about the ISO auditor course.
I was
So I think
answering to
okay,
questions
yes, yes,
from Vikas. So
yes,
that
yes.
ISO courses are of 5 days duration. So I was answering that it is
I
not
thought the entire course
similar
was
to.
Hello. Hello,
Uh,
Muniji.
yes, yes, Pawanji.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening. Good evening,
Or very
Pawanji.
happy Independence Day.
Thank you, and happy Republic Day to you.
I want to know that my question. I am presently working in the auto manufacturing unit for the last 24 years in the supply
Okay,
chain management as a ASM.
okay,
It is,
that's
I
great
know very
experience.
well after completion this course, it is very beneficial for my organization for sustainability and certification of ESG certification. After that,
Mhm.
this organization, I am out of that say after a few months, out of this organization or leaving this job, how can beneficially in further for my career as a know this course and certification as a auditor or like that consultant in further future growth.
Okay, so if you want to enter into consulting domain, or if you want to continue your experience, you're working as a freelancer or independent professional. So
Yeah, yeah, sir.
after this, your supply chain experience, if you combine it with ESG, so you can be the resource person or the professional consultant for implementation of ESG across various industries. And there are huge MSME market who will need to implement ESG in their operations. So you can be good expert in implementation of ESG for MSME companies, as you have experience of auto manufacturing. So there are very huge market of auto ancillaries companies. You can support those companies also. And as you are already part of supply chain, so you must be aware that a lot of new expectations are going to your supply chain partners, and they are not able to understand what you are asking from ESG point of view. So you can guide them, support them, and take the independent project of implementation and starting of ESG journey with those small and medium enterprises. So that is
So,
answer to your question.
Munish sir, I want to have your support from EHSC or team
Okay.
for us in further career growth or independent
Hmm.
as a working. Uh, I want to know that you have any interaction, offline interaction in your working classes or in your offices.
Yes, we can discuss this it in detail in person. So you can get in touch with us, and please drop your number and we can discuss this separately.
Okay, after this course, you are offline discussion in your institute.
Offline discussion. So as I mentioned that after this course also you will remain connected to that larger council which is in process as of now. So you will become part of council of EHS and ESG excellence, and that's how you can get connected with lot of similar professionals online as well as offline. So if there are some events which is offline, so you can be part of those sessions as per the planning that
Okay,
time.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, good evening. What about the fees details, sir?
Okay, I mentioned about the fees detail, Rameshji. I'll repeat that for you. So the total fees of this course is 31,500 plus 18% GST, which makes the total of 37,170 rupees. So this is the fee structure for this course.
Okay, sir. Thank you. In between only I was joined around 6 o'clock.
Okay.
That's why I'm.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for joining, Rameshji. So, Kirti, can you enable all the cameras? So I'll request all the participants to come on the camera so that
It's
we can see
already
you, meet
enabled,
you.
so
Okay, it is
its camera
already
is enabled
enabled.
for all the attendees.
Okay, so I'll request all the participants to come online so that we can see you. Let's see each other. Good evening, Nilesh. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for adding.
So we can see Vikas, Pawan, Rohit ji. Thank you. So I'll request keep your camera on and ask your questions. So we still have 10-12 minutes. If there are more questions, we can address those questions.
Sir,
Yes.
I was asking about DJSI, Dow Jones System Indicators, because
Mm-hmm.
ultimately this covers entire scope, which
Mm-hmm.
I want to support also in that prospect, because
Mm-hmm.
they are a voluntary assessment, and these have entire questions related to this ESG.
Okay.
So when we compare our industry to other OEMs like Maruti,
Mm-hmm.
Honda, Tata,
Mm-hmm.
and so when these people are doing the self-assessment, so they are
Mm-hmm.
questions which are more related to ESG part,
Right,
DJSI.
right, right.
So I didn't see that part, so you can have this also. And one more thing, in the faculty part, uh,
Mm-hmm.
only few members were there about the social and this governance segment. I think 9 to 12 faculties I think Shushri had shown into the. So social and governance, because here what I'm expecting is, because
Mm-hmm.
ultimately this will get into the ESG council or something. So this will get a family, right? So more people are coming from the environment background, maybe, right? So the main learning of my expectation is into the social and governance, right?
So, Vikas, if you see the list of faculties, although that list is still not complete, which has been shown,
Okay.
there are 5 faculties who are related to social as well as governance as of now.
Okay.
And we are already in process of adding more experts, having in process of finalization with few more experts. But if you see today's slides also, there are 5 faculties which are related to social and governance. So, Sushri, if you can name those again for Vikas. And you can show
Right
the
now.
slide also, yeah. Mhm.
Yes, in a minute. Okay, so let's just go back.
You last only one I saw that yes, Veena Gupta was there, right?
Okay, right. So again, these are all people from the environment domain. Now Rashmi Sood, I believe, is into environment one part, but also she's been more into ESG as an umbrella framework altogether. So we can count her in. Vinita Sahitya is into social and governance. Himvati S. Shekhar, now she has been working towards climate change, which is yes, environment, but not the regular environment aspects of it. So pretty specialized again. Mr. Manoj Kumar, food safety, so pretty social. Veena Gupta is social again, social and governance. Then Swati Goyal is social, and Anshul Agarwal is pretty much, into all the three domains together. He looks after ESG investing, so he knows social and governance as good as he knows
Because
environment.
what I have the past perception na, ESG एक बंदा देखता है, right? There are buckets and into that, right? So when you say
Mhm.
ESG head, right? So there are some expertise, right? So might be environment person is into the, or IR person is into the ESG head domain, right? As per the industry norm. So that's my perception was there. So on or ESG head was there. So I thought this Vinay Gupta was only the person which you people had marked that social and
No,
governance.
even
Yeah.
Swati Goyal is
Swati is into
APSC
social,
certified
yes.
social,
Yes,
very
yes.
core experience, more
Okay.
than 17 years of experience into different domains of social. She has been doing more than 450 audits into textile, FMCG, and many other different types of industries only for the social compliances. So she is having very practical experience in that, apart from other faculties which she highlighted.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, so if there are no questions, I'll request if there are suggestions. So as Vikas mentioned, so Dow Jones is one part which we had noted. So Dow Jones, if you go into details, is also a benchmark which is specifically more focused towards various environment, social, and governance aspects. And similar to Dow Jones, there are many concepts and the participants will become familiar with all of those concepts, but there are limitations that we cannot go into detail of each and every such thing in the course, because some research and focus areas has been identified in the initial or the first batch, but we will keep on adding and improving this course continually, similar to that ISO philosophy. Continual improvement of the course will be there. Yeah. So any suggestion, anything which you want to share, any experience related to ESG, apart from the course, let's discuss something around ESG if you want to share anything. So anything is welcome. So since Mr. Nilesh is there, and he is also our expert and supported us in many audits and assessments on persons with disability. So Nilesh sir, if you want to add anything, any experience on the right to persons with disability. So he's a veteran in a lot of universal accessibility audits. So we have done many universal accessibility audits together, and as part of our curriculum, we have included that accessibility as our one of our scope in the ESG domain. So Nilesh, sir, you want to say anything?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Munish, for adding me. Disability is becoming a very important aspect when it comes to any company or within the overall accessibility is. I think this recently Supreme Court of India passed an order under Rajiv Ratturi versus Union of India, which makes it mandatory for all companies and every public place to be disabled friendly. So, I mean, whatever services you're going to provide, there has to be a component of disability built right into it. I mean, right from the beginning. So this is something that I mean, I'm really glad that EHS Group is actually taking this up very seriously. Uh, Supreme Court is still yet to kind of finalize the modalities through, I mean, the government of India through law. But I think we are in the process. In fact, I am part of the team that is drafting the rules for it. I think the next hearing is on March 7th. By then, we would have the rules ready, and the government would kind of, by the time your course is complete, it would be mandatory for everybody to have those rules, I mean, implemented. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the motivation. So, just to highlight, so Nilesh sir is very active in disability inclusion and accessibility audits and policy advocacy, and he has been part of various and very prestigious audit for the building which is related to Supreme Court of India. So that is very prestigious, and he has shared that experience with us in many of the assignments which we have done together. So I remember one latest such assessment in Pune we have done together, and that was really appreciated by the client. So we can utilize him for any accessibility audit because he has the lived experience also on this concept, and he has been very active. Especially, I remember Nilesh sir, your role in that Election Commission of India at the time of voting. Also, you were some brand ambassador for such issues by the Election Commission of India.
Yes, I'm still the state icon for Maharashtra, and I have been involved and have worked very closely with the Election Commission of India right from 2004. When at that time I had filed a public interest litigation, and later they have added me to the team. So every polling booth we have tried to see that it is disabled friendly, and I mean, every person. I mean, no one is left behind. That is the basic I mean, motto. So we have worked very closely with the election commission, right from making the polling booths disabled friendly. Also, I mean, the services have been provided where a taxi or a car comes right up to your doorstep and takes you to the polling booth, helps you cast your vote, and leaves you back. So depending on the kind of help that you require, we have tried to do it very closely. It has been a great success, especially in Maharashtra.
Right, sir. And with this motivation, we have included accessibility as part of our vision statement also in EHS Guru, and doing a lot of work in that sector along with him. Thank you, sir, for your support as always. Right. So any other input by any participant before we close? We still have 2 more minutes before we close the session. Anything by anyone?
Sir, I shared you
Yes,
on the chat, so that
yes.
can
Yes.
be added. Yes.
Yeah, we have taken note of those things. Thank you, Vikas, for your input. So anything by our internal team also, anything is welcome. So Neeraj, if you want to highlight. So Neeraj is also one of the expert faculty of this program, and he will share his experience about various fire safety audits and fire safety aspects, which becomes part of the social in ESG, and how he has been part of various ESG due diligence programs where investor specifically expect him to cover fire safety aspects more into details, and lot of fire cases has come up. So Neeraj, I would like to listen from you also, especially your experience on various ESG due diligence which you have been part of the hospitals recently and many other different types of occupancies.
Yeah, thank you so much, Munish sir. And hi, Nilesh sir. Hi, Vikas. And hi, everyone. Uh, exactly, जैसा अभी मुनीश सर ने बोला, definitely it's been around 17 to 18 years of experience in fire and life safety domain. So I did several audits. Like according to NBC, there are nine occupancies that are mentioned in National Building Code. So most of them I have completed, and I must say that I have completed nine occupancies, all the nine occupancies, with respect to fire and life safety audit and with respect to ESG due diligences also. So recently, I have completed my ESG due diligence with some of the very renowned hospital that is located in Rajasthan. So I did like the fire and life safety components there, the each and every components and the licenses parts, permits part, and the compliances related to life safety and environment also. So this is all about the experience which I have gained from several ESG audits in my past 17 to 18 years of experience. Thank you so much, Minister.
Right. Thank you, Neeraj. So I can see there are participants who have already registered on this course. Neha Mehra, if you can confirm, so I think you have registered on this course already. So if you want to share anything, Neha. Neha, you're there? Okay, so she seems not active as of now. Okay, so anything, Lakshita, you want to add? So Lakshita is also very active in this entire course related, pre-course related activities, in fact. Yes.
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. Good evening. And first of all,
Mhm.
happy Republic Day to all of you. I just want to add that I'm very much excited for this course because I will be a part of it. Not for the certification, of course, but for the knowledge. Certification is the secondary, but yes, I want to explore my knowledge as much as I can. It's going to be a boom ESG in the coming years, so I want to be well prepared for that.
So I
And I
Thank you,
really want to
Lakshita.
thank EHS Guru for coming up with this, this course.
Thank you, Lakshita, for your enthusiasm about this course. So Neha is also raising hand. So Neha, are you available now? Neha just raised the hand. Okay, so anything by anyone? Otherwise, let's close the session. Yes, Chinmay, you have anything to share?
yeah, I think are you also covering about social accountability 8,000 and greenwashing part?
Okay, greenwashing, definitely it is going to be part of this because that is a major challenge which all the countries are facing, including India. And India also have a dedicated notification about greenwashing. So we will be covering that part. But social accountability, it is not going to be covered in detail, but yes, you will become familiar about what social accountability is and how to have the implementation of that. But yes, there are separate standards like SA 8000, so you can go through in detail if you want to become expert in that. But yes, you will become familiar on that part.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Munish sir,
Yes,
I
yes,
have a
Manoj.
question. If you don't attend the classes, what is the next provision? How will we get to access the class if I'll miss any class?
Okay, so there will be an access login ID credentials which will be given to you, and through that credentials you will have the recorded lectures available there, and you can access the material for the limited time period.
And
So
how
if you
long
miss
it
the
will be
class,
available there? Is there any limited time period like 30 days,
yes.
45 days?
Yeah. So if you miss the class, you will have at least 5 more days to attend the class. But if we don't want that you attend all those classes in a one go, you will have to have some exercise assignments regularly after every week. So you will get at least 5 days more time. But that is also an exception. It is not applicable for all the classes. So in some instances, you can avail that benefit of recorded lectures.
Do we have to appear any exam to get the certificate?
You will have to submit some assignments, and the basis of certification will be the evaluation of those assignments, but there is no as such formal examinations as part of this course as of now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, everyone, for your active participation. And I hope all your queries were resolved during the session. Thank you so much, Manish sir. Thank you so much, Sushri. And I would also like to thank all the participants for their questions, for the suggestions. It has been really fruitful for us, and I hope it was extremely fruitful for everyone as well. Very happy Republic Day once again. I have shared the link to the WhatsApp group that you can join for all the regular updates. Along with that, I have also shared the pre-registration form, which can be filled out by everyone. And also the details of the course have been shared throughout the chat, which I have shared with everyone. In any case, any other doubt, please join us on the WhatsApp group. We are very active there. We will be happy to answer all your queries over there as well. And the pre-registration form link is also available in the chat box. Thank you so much, everyone, once again, and have a nice evening. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
No problem, Neha. That's okay.